Good morning, it's Mrs. Hameter, and I'm here in Mr. Smith's class today to help you with your research project. Mr. Smith has been talking about World War II for some time now, and it's time for you guys to do some research on your own. And so I'm here to help you come up with a topic today. We are going to do that by searching in a database. Um, you're probably wondering, why can't I just search it up on Google, Miss? Well, there's several reasons for that. First of all, Google will give you millions of results, and those results are very difficult to verify the credibility of. A database, on the other hand, is a searchable collection of information, and it's usually focused to a certain area, and the credibility of the contents of it is guaranteed by the experts and the publishers who are pulling together the information for you. So it's much better to use a database when you're doing research projects for school. You're going to have fewer things to go through, and you're going to have more credible sources. So today we're at the Macambia site that contains databases for our school. And as you can tell, there are many in here. And how do we choose which one? Most of them are focused, as I said before. For example, there's one on biographies, environmental studies, health and wellness. The one that I'm going to point you to today is called Galen Context High School. It's a great place for high school age research to happen. And when you get here, um, you can just browse topics right here from the home page. There's a history. This database contains more than just history. It's got biography, business, geography, lots of topics in here. So you could browse right down here from this area, or you could go to this browse topics. Let's say, so you guys have been talking about World War II for a while. Some of you may have an idea already of what topics you want to write about. You can't just write about World War II, right? You've been given the topic of Americans in World War II. So that's narrowed a little bit, but that is still a humongous topic. And we really need to narrow that down quite a bit. So if you don't have any ideas, I am going to start very broadly and work your way, showing you some ways that you can narrow your topic down, some places for you to explore within this database. I'm going to show you like 4 different types of ways to search this database today. And the first way is just to browse topics. This pulls up a list of all kinds of things. So you can search by time period. 1940s was World War II. Here's the Nazis over here, but we know we want American involvement. So the Nazis probably isn't on the table as far as research topics go. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here and see if there is World War II time period even. And it turns out that there is, so I'm going to click on that. I get an overview page of World War II. And here I have, these are the types of content that I'm going to find within this topic. So I have 187 reference articles, 13 videos, 294 academic articles, 39 biographies, 1,455 magazine articles, 7 websites, 56 images for those of you. I think you have a choice of writing a paper or making a presentation to the class. So if you're making a presentation, you will definitely want to put some images in there. Scrolling down, this kind of blocks off each type of what you see up here on this in this featured content area. This is not all of what is in here, but here's some primary sources. So we just clicked on World War II. So here's something on Battle of Midway. That would be a great topic. Uh, Stalin to Prime Minister Churchill. So that wouldn't be American involvement. We know we would not want that for our research, even though it's about World War II. Now we can search within these results from here. So I can narrow down my topic a little bit more from this area. I know I want American involvement. So let's see what we come up with. When World War II rationing begins. So that might not have been a good keyword to use for that particular thing. Now, if you have this little bar right here, don't hit the back button. Make sure that you go back using that topic bar. If I click on read more, I'm going to get the whole article on the overview of World War II. And the great thing about this is usually when you click on an article, you're going to have an explore section over on the right. You're going to have more like this, the contents of the article, and lots of related subjects. So if you're not sure of your topic, just check right here, see if there's anything that interests you. You can click on these links that can take you a little bit further to drill down a little bit more onto your topic. So that would be just the browse button. I'm going to go back to the home page and I'm going to talk to you now about the second way to search this database, which is through the search bar. This is what we call the basic search. So searching through here is not case sensitive. You need to know, you might need to know that. You also might need to know that there are some strategies you can use to help you out when typing in a search. Let's say you want to search for a phrase. If I just type American spies, it's going to see that as two separate terms. But if I want them to appear together, I can use quotation marks like this and hit enter. And I'm going to, so that phrase is going to, American spy is going to be together in the search results. Now, I did not type in that I want these spies to be from the World War II era. So some of these, like this is 1983. My search is too wide. I need to narrow that down a little bit. And I could do that maybe by clicking over here to filter my results. United States, foreign relations, spies, 46, intelligence service. So some other subjects over here that I could use to narrow down that search. Um, Another strategy you might want to use is to truncate a word. So let's say you want to look for a word, but you're not sure what variation or form of the word. You don't know if it needs to be plural. It just kind of depends on what is written in the article. So let's say I'm looking, this is just to illustrate the type of search strategy that I'm talking about. Let's say I want to research something about presidents. I can put an asterisk at the end of that because I don't know if I want presidential, presidente, presidents, you know, possessive. I don't know if I want plural. So I'm just going to open this up right here and let it go and see if I get president. There is a singular one, presidential, that would be an adjective. President Joe Biden, part of a title of a person, presidents, plural, of the United States of America. Now, that doesn't have to do with World War II, but that is a search strategy that you can use. Another search strategy would be a wildcard if you're not sure of spelling, or in case of irregular plurals, what if you don't know if you want to use woman or women? So if I do put a question mark in there, then I'm going to get women. Again, I didn't type in World War II time period. Mountain wolf woman. So I'm going to get searches for both women and woman. That might be something you may need in the far future if you are searching things that have like a British spelling and an English spelling. Uh, so if you're not sure of spelling, you can use the question mark. This search, basic search, works pretty much like any other search. You're going to type in your keyword. I have The search strategies that I just showed you for phrases, truncating, and wildcard, those are also going to be found on the handout that I gave you today right here. So in case you need to remember those, it's right there for you. Okay. The next type of search I want to show you is the advanced search, the topic finder. Here I can type in World War II because I know that's your big topic and we want to narrow it down. So let's start big. Here we get a visual of some of the key words and subjects that are found within World War II. We know we want to have American involvement or United States involvement. That's synonyms almost. So if you were, you can look under both of those to get some much more drilled down results. American Army, American military, soldiers in the United States, fighter pilots, uh, just lots of other topics in here. Over here on the right, you have some results for actual articles that you could read about. So that is how that works. If you don't really like the tile version, you can reset it once you drill down and you forget where you were. You can click on wheel and there is a different visual for you that you can also click on all of these topics. I personally like the tile version better, but um, women, that's an interesting topic. I might have to work on that one a little more. So that's the visual topic finder. And there's several places within the database that you can access that. I'll show you this again here in a minute. Let's go back, though. The fourth kind of search that I would like to show you is the actual advanced search. And this is the one that's probably going to help you the most. There are so many different ways that you can narrow a topic from here. We know that we need World War II time period. Right, so that's going to be the first term or keyword that I'm going to type in. Now over here I have a choice: keyword, document title, subject, lots of choices. The fact is that I'm just beginning my research, and so I have no idea about document titles, publication titles, authors, place names, Gale document numbers. That means nothing to me at this point in time. The further in you get on your research, it may help you out. But for now, I'm going to leave it at keyword because that is the broadest type of search. The other one you might want to use at this point is a subject search. But in order for a subject search to come up, World War II, whatever you have in this search bar over here, would have to be the results would all be tagged at some point in time with this particular term. So keyword doesn't search the whole document, but it searches multiple fields within the document. So this is going to be the broadest search for you, okay, at this point in time. Here we have some Boolean operators, and, or not. If you're not sure about these, there are some search tips right here for you. I love how they put this right here so you can get it right. But also, in case you're not online, right, or you want to use these usually work in different databases, and you can even use these on your Google searches. I did put these on your handout as well. Here we are with some illustrations for you. If I use World War II and women, and I use the and with them, it's going to narrow my search down because it's going to require that both of those terms be in whatever article I'm pulling up. If I use or, that means either World War II or women, either term could show up, not necessarily together, not necessarily related to each other. The best time to use or might be when you have synonyms. For example, a few minutes ago, we had American and United States. So if you're not sure if the author used which term, so you might want to use that at that point. And not means you're excluding something. So I want World War II, but I don't want to know about women in World War II. So I'm going to take women out of it out of my search terms. So that's how that will work for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and do women, and let's see what happens. I'm going to keep that at keyword as well, because it's right now just at the beginning of my search. All right, so down here, they'll have search limiters. I can search with full text documents. I can search for academic journals. Those of you that are going to be doing your presentation, you can search for images. You can search for videos to put in your presentation. Your teacher may be requiring you to have some academic journals as your resources. So, that's a good one to start with. But this is the first time I am hitting the search button on this, and I want to keep it wide because here in a minute I have a second chance to do some filtering and some limiting. So I'm just going to see what happens when I just use these two search terms. All right, so now I have 219 academic journals, 817 magazine articles that have World War II and women in them. So this is looking a little better as far as because I think I am really interested in women in World War II. Over here on the right, this is my second chance for filtering my results by publication date, subjects, document type. If I want to now narrow it down to the content level. Nope, not that one. Maybe it's document type. Yeah, so now I can find exactly photographs. I can find videos. There's four podcasts in here somewhere. So this is another place I can click and apply and get my information narrowed down a whole lot more. This is another place you can get your topic finder over here on the right hand side. This is the visual. So if I click on this now, it's going to pull up that visual, but now it's going to add in the women and the World War II together. So that would be a possibility at this point as well. I'm going to go ahead and just click on an article to show you a couple of other things, ways you can narrow down. On the right-hand side, I'm getting the Explore option again. More articles like this. Here is a table of contents for the article that I am looking at. And I also have related subjects. So now I have civilians, women military personnel, women in the labor force, working women, because women didn't really work before World War II, right? Unless they were single and had to. This looks like a great overview. So if I go all the way to the bottom of this article, I have my source citation here. For history, you're probably using Chicago Edition. So you could click on that and you can copy and paste this into your reference articles if you're going to use this article. Another great thing about the database, really quick to show you, is that up here in the top right, it says highlights. No, sorry, that's for later. Something you have the ability to do in this that you don't have in Google is you can highlight and you can make a note and you can save it. You can then export this to your Google Drive. Your highlighted article with your notes goes with you to Google Drive. I know we're not to that point yet, but I just would like to point that out to you guys, why you should use the database instead of Google. That's a major reason right there. You're going to be a lot more organized when it comes to your research and putting it all together in the end. So I'm going to give you guys a little while to play around in this. Use your handout because it really is going to help you. I went through and I showed you the browse topics. I showed you the basic search, just typing in your keyword. I showed you how to find some keywords and topics in the topic finder. And then I showed you the advanced search, the Boolean operator search tips, which can be used on the basic search as well. You can make sure you type them in all caps like that so that the database understands it is your Boolean operator and not part of your title. One thing you should know is Gale, when you do get to this point a little bit later on and you're searching for titles, Gale does not apply stop words such as a, an, or the, or of, as some databases do. So the hunt for Red October is not the same as hunt for Red October. So you need to keep those articles in your title. And then some tips on using your search limiters. Also, other help, I should mention that at the very, very bottom of every page, there is a help button down here that you can find help should you happen to get lost. Another place you can find help is through me as well. I'm always in the library, ready to help you guys with your research. But for today, I'd like to give you some time to explore around in the Gale in Context High School. Just try out some of the searches. Use your handout to help you with that. Some keywords, maybe some topics that Mr. Smith has talked about that you're really, really interested in. And then the last few minutes of class, I'd like you to get together with your partner and maybe give your partner a little summary of what you found so far, what you find interesting, and your partner is going to help you come up with some questions. What are some things that you should be looking for on your next time through searching? Okay, and then tomorrow we're going to go over how to find a few more resources outside of the Gale in Context database. So spend some time searching and talk with your partner. Okay, day two. Day two, we're going to be looking here at our Follett Destiny search. We have different types of searches here in our library catalog as well, just like the database did. We have a basic search, a power search, a visual search. This visual search, we'll just go ahead and tell you, is not going to be the same thing as what we saw in the database yesterday. In fact, if I click on history, it's not even going to give me that time period, pioneer life, Native Americans, and exploration. So I would say that this visual is not really going to be helping you with your search for resources. Today we're looking to see what does our library have, or what can our library point us to as far as further resources to help us out. The basic search is going to be very similar to the basic search you saw yesterday. You can use those search techniques that we talked about yesterday, the searching for phrases, the truncation, and the wildcard that were on your handout. You can apply those here as well. You have a keyword search, which again is going to be your most broad type of search. You have a title search, an author search. You may not be quite ready for those yet in your, but however, you may have come across some titles from your work yesterday. Do know that Follett Destiny does apply stop words. So you do not have to put the at the front of the title. You can go about your search that way. Also, it is not case sensitive, so you can just type in it. You do need to spell correctly though. It may not find what you're looking for if you type something that's not spelled correctly. Your subject search, of course, is just going to be things that are tagged with that particular subject. And I don't know if series may be applicable to you if maybe you have come across somebody who has written a series of, series of the spies or series of something like that. You can also narrow your search or some limiters to material type. You're probably going to be looking for books mostly. You might, there's some ebooks that you might want to look for. At this point, though, I kind of would recommend just leaving it wide open. Um, Interest level, reading programs, reading level. Probably not, you're not going to want to limit yourself to those types of things at this point. So I can type in World War II. I'm going to keep it at keyword. And I have 127 things to go through here. But it's not really helping me too much. It's just a lot to go through. I think I can do a better job of limiting. So instead, I'm going to go back over here to the power search, which is more like the advanced search that we saw yesterday. I have some options for the same options that were on the basic search. I'm just going to keep it at keyword. I'm going to go for World War II. This little drop down menu here is very similar to using the quotation marks. If I want this exact phrase, that would be like using the quotation marks yesterday. I don't want to say any of these words because then that would pull up anything that had world in it or anything that had war in it. Um, so I want all of these words, which may not be together, but if I put it as exact phrase, then those three words will be together. And here's our Boolean operators from yesterday. And I want to use women because I'm looking for World War II, how women, American women, what did they do in World War II? And it's only one word, so all of these words, sure. Again, I can limit, I have some limiters, material type, publication years, call numbers. For now, though, I just really want to leave it wide open and let's just see what comes up. All right, I have 8 things that I can look at. So the first one is World War II spies. If I click on this, I get a little bit of a summary of the book. I can explore some related topics, some related subjects over here. This is coming from the subject tags that are on here. I'm going to go back, but don't hit the back button. Don't hit library search. It's going to redo everything for you. Go back to search results. The Girls of Atomic City, the untold story of women who helped win World War II. That sounds like it might be interesting. Rosie the Riveter, women on the U.S. home front. All right, so I'm looking at these call numbers. These are all nonfiction books. But now I get here Sweethearts of Rhythm, the story of the greatest all girl swing band in the world. I noticed that it's 811. I happen to know that 811 is going to be some poetry. So I'm not sure that that is going to help me. Poetry, biography. Biography would be useful, but poetry probably isn't going to help me with my research. So back to search results. I've got a couple more I want to look at here. I have a fiction book, a fiction book, a fiction book. You do not want to use fiction for your research assignment. So that's leaving you with 1, 2, 3, 4, really 4 good books to look at. At the moment in Follett, you can tell that none of these books are actually available at this moment in time. However, come see me and we will see how much longer you can make a list. I would like to add this to my list, add this to my list, add this to my list, and then when you come to the library, you can have it all ready to go to look at these titles. Or you could even print this out. So these would be books that are in the library. If I click on websites, now I'm hitting pay dirt because I have 1,000 websites that I can go to for more resources. And check this out. This is .org, .org, .edu, .org, .org, .edu. These are all going to be websites that you are going to be able to use in your research. Okay, these are credible ones. So let's say that you're doing the presentation version. Here I have some limiters because 1,000 is so incredibly hard to go through. I can just search for images and get results. I have women in the workforce here. So now I'm down to 129. It's better. It's still too much to go through, but women in the workforce takes me to an outside website. So here is where you're going to need to be very careful about photos and copyrights. But if you will notice, this particular one tells you right here, it's under a Creative Commons license. We've talked about these before. You are free to share and adapt it however you like, provided that you provide attribution as follows. So as long as you give it this attribution, you're welcome to use these photos in your presentation. Bam, you just found a great source right there. There are some other limiters over here. Um, there's videos, articles, source, encyclopedia, magazine, news source, dictionary, thesaurus. You have related topics. So there's some more women Air Force service pilots. That sounds really interesting to me. So I might pull that up. I have 5 websites that I can visit for that. .org, 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 .org. They all this museums, NPR. So these are some news articles and some museum website to read through. So lots and lots of information. So your library can give you not only the books and the print materials, but also you can look on here to find some online things that would be much easier to go through than just Googling for pictures or images or that type of thing, since you're going to need to narrow it down quicker. All right. Happy researching, guys. I hope that you find what you need. And if you don't, come see me in the library.